A man leaves home at 22:15 hours and reaches his destination at 0400 hours. On the following day, in the same time zone, how long did the journey take? Nice question. You can easily get this in your paper too as well. So let us take our time to deal with this question. Now, some people are more familiar with the 24-hour format than others. So for the benefit of those who may not be as familiar with the 24-hour format, let us break it down a little bit. So we know AM, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10, 11, 12, right? Hours that most of us familiar with, because generally speaking, we're already up by then. What happened when we reach 12? That's 12 noon. Normally in the 12-hour format, you switch from 12 to 1 p.m. In the 24-hour format, we continue numbering so that 1 p.m. will be 1300 hours, 2 p.m. will be 1400 hours, 3 p.m. will be 1500 hours, etc., etc., etc. So basically, all that you do is that you take the normal PM time in the 12-hour format and you add 12 to it. So if you want to change a PM to 24-hour time, you add 12. So 6 p.m. is 1800 hours. 7:30 p.m. is 19 hours 30 minutes, right? 22:45, so sorry, 10:45 will be 22:45, 10:45 plus 10 hours. And conversely, if you want to go in the opposite direction, if you want to change from 24-hour format to 12-hour format in the PM, then you just minus 12. So if you say 23:25, you minus 12 from that, that's 11:25 p.m. If you have 2016, you minus 12 from that, that's 8:16 p.m. If you have 1754, you minus 12 from that, you get 5:54 p.m. So basically, it's just a simple game of addition and subtraction, where you're adding or subtracting 12 depending on if you want to move from 12-hour format in the PM to 24-hour format, or 24-hour format to 12-hour format in the PM. The AM is the same for both formats. So your 12 midnight would be 0 hours, 1 a.m. is 1 a.m., 2 a.m. is 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is 3 a.m., all the way up to 12 noon. From 12 noon is where you had to make a decision. You're either sticking with the 12-hour format, which most people are familiar with, or you switch to 24-hour format, which some people, myself included, actually prefer. Good? Both formats have their uses, and people use them in different arenas, right? The most commonly known use for the 24-hour format would be military circumstances, right? Where as soon as you see it, you know exactly what it is, right? As a general note, right, just a little off topic here now, right? If you're setting your clock to alarm, you might want to consider using the 24-hour format, because you don't want to make the mistake, as I have done a couple of times, where you set the clock. The intention is to set it to alarm for 6 a.m., but for some reason you make a mistake and set it for 6 p.m. instead. That could happen. I am sure that will have happened to other people. If you use the 24-hour format, you don't have that problem. 1800 hours is 1800 hours, full stop, punto final, moving along. Right, so back to the calculations now. So 22:15 in 12-hour format would be 10:15 p.m. Good? So let us do the calculation in 12-hour format, and then we'll do the same thing in 24-hour format. So in the 12-hour format, we have 10:15 p.m. Easiest thing to do, take it one step at a time. So 10:15 to 11:15 is 1 hour. 11:15 to 12:15 is 2 hours. 12:15 to 1:15 is 3 hours. 1:15 to 2:15 is 4 hours. 2:15 to 3:15 is 5 hours. 3:15 to 4:15 is 6 hours, right? So from 10:15 p.m. to 4:15 a.m. the next morning is 6 hours. But the question asks for 0400 hours, which is 24 hours in 12 hours, that will be 4 a.m. So in other words, basically what we're looking at here is 6 hours minus 15 minutes. 6 hours less 15 minutes. So you just take the 15 minutes from the 6 hours and you get 5 hours and 45 minutes. So let us do it in 24-hour format now. 22:15 to 23:15 is 1 hour. 23:15 to 0:15, 0015 is 2 hours. 0015 to 0115 is 3 hours. 0115 to 0215 is 4 hours. 0215 to 0315 is 5 hours. And 0315 to 0415 is 6 hours. So you take your time and you count 1 hour at a time and you get 6 hours from 22:15 to 04:15 the next morning. 6 hours. But they ask for 0400 hours, so you just go back 15 minutes. 6 hours, you go back 15 minutes, that is 5 hours and 45 minutes. We know that 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour. So if you take back a quarter from 6, you get 5 3/4. So in that case, in both instances, whether you use 12-hour time or 24-hour time, the final answer is answer B, 5 3/4 hours.